So hi, my name is Kim, and I come before you today as a really lame middle-class suburban white girl. Like, I can't even attempt to say anything sort of cool without embarrassing myself. Hey, what's up? Yo? No, it's just, no, Kim, don't. You're so lame, just stop it. Don't even go there. So, I'm from Idaho, and I know what you're thinking. Potatoes, right? We'll get there in a second. Nah, like, Idaho gets kind of a bad rap sometimes, but most of the state is absolutely gorgeous. We've got parts of Yellowstone National Park. We've got the Sawtooth Mountains with the River of No Return. We've got just beautiful, lush Panhandle portion with the big, majestic white pine trees and things like that. But no, I'm from the part of the state where the potatoes come from. And like a potato, it's just kind of the color of dirt. And it's lumpy and generally just not interesting. Also, like a potato, within it is a lot of very homogeneous, starchy, bland, white stuff. It's just not a diverse place at all. It's not. So what does this really lame little white girl have to say about the politics of race and social equality and things like that that are so top of mind to us as a country right now? So I'm going to check my privilege that I know I have right here. Should I just sing you like the music of my people? It goes, do, 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 I want something else. No, it's, my people are really just 90s suburban white kids. It's, we had to rage against something in the 90s. Maybe it was the machine, whatever that was. Things were going great just from an economic standpoint. We really had nothing to be upset about. I will admit, at the time, growing up, I was scared to death of black people. I was. And not because I was afraid they were gonna try to shoot me or rape me or rob me or anything like that. It's because they were just so much cooler than I was. There were probably 5 or 6 black families that I grew up with, and they were all like class president, star athlete, girls in my choir class that had just the most perfect, beautiful, cool extensions and these sassy manicured nails, and they could sing like, you know, Alicia Keys or Lauryn Hill. And I'd try to talk to them just being like, hey, what's up? Yo? No, Kim, just don't even try it. I'm not gonna even try to say anything cool from now on. We had sort of the same thing, 5 or 6 Asian families in our city. And it was so stereotypical, like they were all just really smart, good at math. I can say there are 2 kids that I grew up with that ended up being just virtuoso musicians, and that's actually true. Here's where it gets a bit tougher. We have a significant Hispanic Latino population, and collectively we would just kind of all refer to them as the Mexicans, and it was usually used in a derogatory way. I'll have to admit, I did it. I'm not proud of it, but I'll own that, and I know it's something that is an issue that needs to get better. I know that's not the main issue that we're dealing with as a country at the moment, but I think we do have to think about where your meat and your produce comes from. How do buildings get constructed? Who does the cleaning and the dirty work that a lot of, you know, white class middle America doesn't want to do? like I said, that's not the most pressing thing, but that is an issue we need to reconcile at some point. There's also a very large Indian reservation just miles from here. And I could do a whole video about that situation alone, but like, suffice to say, it's always sad when I drive past all the stuff, just cheap cigarettes and high-stake bingo, knowing just how... Once you get a block or two from the truck stops, yeah, I can't even. But I graduated high school and I made it out of Idaho. Just barely. I made it to northern Utah, which from a landscape standpoint is a bit more aesthetically pleasing than Idaho, but demographically the border is essentially arbitrary. But at Utah State, we had Indians, like Indians from India, because they have a really great engineering program. There was a Muslim community there. I had a few more black kids in my classes, which was kind of neat. Most of them were there on scholarship to play sports. And I don't know, Utah State, you had a rough go with the football thing for a few years, but you tried. You did. Go Aggies. There weren't many Hispanics or Native American Indian kids at my university, and I know it's a privilege that I just got to go to college alone. So during this time period, I began to sort of search for my own like racial, ethnic identity. Like, was there something special about me? I got looking into genealogy and found out I'm like 7/16 Scandinavian, maybe, Danish, Norwegian, about half English, and the rest of it assorted, Western European, something. And I'm like, no, this can't be the case. I don't look Scandinavian. I don't look English. I'm 5'3", and by June, I'm so tan, I'm darker than a Guatemalan. I actually had a roommate that was Guatemalan, so I can say definitively, like, this is true. But I kept thinking, no, there's gotta be something else, something unique about me. I had the DNA testing done, and it turns out, yeah, I am 92% really, really just Northern European. I'm not even Scottish or German or anything like that would have a strong cultural identity that I could latch onto. I'm just a really lame white girl. I can say my only experience as a quote-unquote minority is being a woman. But this alone has influenced my perspective on law enforcement. And I kind of have to go off script to tell this story here. But in about September of 2018, I had to call the police because my neighbors at 2 o'clock in the morning were out being rowdy, spraying each other in the crotch with a garden hose and laughing. And I'd ask them to be quiet. And they were just belligerent and started, saying mean things about me and being like, what are you going to do, call the cops? So I did. And the police officer that I got to talk to kind of was aggressive, and he got up in my face and he started judging me. I was the one who had the reason to call the cops, and he gets up in my face and asking, oh, are you on drugs? You seem really nervous. Like, do you have something to hide? I don't know, like there's this 6-foot-something dude with a badge and a gun in my face yelling at me. So of course I'm going to be nervous. Turns out, and I could not make this up, if you look up Idaho Falls police officer shot, the first result you will get is Officer Blaine Reed. During this time, like within a month, he had, with one of his ex-girlfriends, choked her, threatened like murder-suicide in some really, really just disturbing ways, and a lot of just horrible stuff. within weeks of the same interaction I had had with this police officer. It took until December that they put him on administrative leave. No charges, no nothing. He's on record saying he had trouble respecting women. He just did. February of 2019, he drives to Layton, tries to break into some dude's house that's supposedly in a relationship with an ex-girlfriend of his, not even the same ex-girlfriend that he tried to kill. And the owner of the house shot Officer Reed because Utah is a stand your ground state. So all of this happened within the period of 6 months. This officer admitted he had a bias against women. So is it so much of a stretch to believe that there are police officers that have racial bias? No. By virtue of this experience, do I have my own kind of bias and opinions about police officers? Yes. Yes, I do. Do I necessarily want to call them when similar things happen? No. No, I don't. Because I don't really trust them. I have had a couple incidents that are not dissimilar since then. So, knowing that I have these opinions about law enforcement that have influenced me directly, just knowing all these formative ideas that I developed growing up where I did and having those interactions that I did, it's up to me to figure out how I want to navigate the current situation and really what my morals are and how I want to influence the future in a way that's ethical and fair, knowing that I am who I am, just a really, really lame white girl from Idaho. So I think it's something we all kind of have to look in the mirror a little bit and think about. So with that, hey, peace out, yo. No, so lame. Anyone who watched this, thank you, and take care. See ya.